I'm gonna give that a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, that worked. Okay, that worked. That worked out just fine. I just wanted to make sure my audio equipment and everything was working. Alright, where the fuck was I? Oh, hey, Rudy. I forgot you were still here. Basically, where the hell is it? Okay. Alright, so, hey, how y'all doing? It's been about a week. I had a very rough week, all week. Not even about any of the video content I've done since then or any kind of responses. I've had a lot of stuff going on with my physical health, really being really poor and not having the greatest outlook as of late. Not even about what the hell's been going on, but I'm going off on a tirade here. First of all, for those of that have been jumping onto the channel for whatever, and I'm not going to be reading any of the live chat. I'm going to be talking to a few people tonight. Some of them have been off and on tonight, where one of the people I was going to speak to had just got done driving for literally 14 hours straight in the last couple days and is pretty tired. So he pretty much took a grandpa nap off to oblivion, whatever. Some other people are going to join in, and I'm here currently with Rudy Chavez, Kimberly Chavez. And first thing I need to say, and I'm just going to say this right now, the 2 videos I did on Karl jobs, the second one was emotionally based. It's currently private. I'm going to be removing that because I don't normally get that emotional, and I only really do that around people I really, really trust. And I don't feel like I did that professionally. I didn't handle that in a very professional manner, and it's not professional of me to call somebody greedy when I don't even know their position. Another thing I wanted to publicly apologize to Karl for. This stick is technically, it didn't come from him. That the FAMB photo, as everyone's referring to, the broker photo, the one with the red joystick. That photo did not come from Karl. I assume that. For years, even before Karl has started speaking about this, I have known about the lawsuit that Billy Mitchell has handed to Twin Galaxies. During all of that, I have refused to look at it because I've been waiting for the end. I've been looking for something equivalent to that of a discovery to give by hand directly to Jace. And I thought Karl found that. I thought that he was the source for that photo. So I was challenging him on that photo. Now, much the same, Karl has apologized to me for all the bad that has come my way, and I understand. His approach to me was a lot more professional, a lot more respectful, and I will publicly state that now, that I am very glad that that happened the way that it did. So tonight, I am here with, well, a bunch of people that aren't even on and they're off right now because they're either eating or whatnot. Well, Rudy, are you there? Oh,
Yes,
he muted.
yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry. Just
Okay,
my
how you
family
doing?
being noisy. Sorry. How you doing?
Oh, I'm mad as fuck right now. My fucking prog group cleared Savage. Oh, that couldn't hurt any more this week. I now have the worst week of the year. I I don't like that. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. So we have tonight where I'm going to be talking about my public view, and among other public views, Frico being and I'll just go over the people here. Rudy Chavez, former friend of Rudy Ferretti, or that's now deceased, my friend, as well as a former member of Empire Arcadia, So, Rudy, you're here now since Freako is off, Data God's off. Um, what is your take on the red control stick
Um, what I my take is that I believe that the the shaft of the stick was been changed.
with some kind of leaf controller, as you called it?
Um, it looks like it looks like a Wico controller, leaf controller Wico. Those are really old, but they're as far as I know, they're never on Donkey Kong machines. That looks like a Wico controller, or Wico controller. So my what I'm trying to think is, I mean, it could turn into a four-way because it could have restrictor plates on the inside of the leaf switch. They're like plastics that go on the side of the leaf switch, so you could turn it into a four-way. And the Nintendo one, which is like a smaller controller, like what I call a microcontroller, the
Right.
smaller ones. Those have micro switch what do you call it switches, but it uses it those micro switch switches have a bended groove that goes on around the shaft, kind of like it shapes like a J. So this would make it into a four-way. You see, so regardless of which one it is, I believe the shaft has been changed. The stick shaft has been changed,
The stick
and
shaft.
it
So,
yeah.
I want to bring up a couple posts, and this is why I have my stream set in a split screen type of thing right now. First one, when it comes to, and I'm not trying to go off topic from what you were talking about. I'll get back to that in a second with the second post I'm about to show. The first post I'm about to show is to disprove anyone if anyone believes that I'm lying about contacting Karl and us exchanging apologies. That post right there, that was done about 5 days ago. It was a conversation we had. I can show the rest of the DMs, but I mean, again, some of it is about a really sensitive time when, and I'm just gonna say it, when we were investigating with Apollo, we had a lot of dox threats. A lot. We had a lot of people that were antagonizing other people. Uh, some of our families were targeted just for looking into this because this was a very massive lawsuit. Now, the second photo I wanted to pull up uh, is actually a photo that, well, not really a photo, but more like a comment that I saw David Race post on a video by Legal Bites. And I don't know who Legal Bites is. I think she's just kind of posting for the sake of posting. But if you look at this comment, and mind you, David Race has reached out to me before. And for those that don't know, David Race is the guy who's got the world first perfect Pac-Man. So this guy knows his shit. I I mean, I can't twist his words or construe them, but I could point out my views of this. Now, for the first part, this is despite the misguided attempts of some still seeking to defend Billy Mitchell in light of the recent released FAM pics, there is no question the joystick and the DK machine at the Fab membership booth, where it's so weird that we're calling it at FAM, but whatever. Um, where the record has said to have been broken at Fab newsletters was not original unmodified hardware. A good case, and quote me on this, a good case can actually be made for it being an 8-way replacement joystick often found in 60-in-1 interactive machines, which, one thing is certain, it cannot be verified to be a 4-way. If you had pictures of a DK machine with an original black ball joystick, could you tell the picture alone whether or not it's installed as a 4 or an 8-way? No. This is why, during Kong Off, the first Kong Off, and I had spoken to Freako about this earlier, he was there present with Richie Knuckles and Billy Mitchell, and the three of them walked down to all 15 cabinets, 4 of which were wild card cabinets, meaning that anyone could come in and play on them, that they brought them in themselves, and 11 were brought in by actual players. The night before Kong Off, they walked down the aisles and they checked these cabinets. They checked them for authenticity. They checked the control sticks. They turned them on, and that was about it. They checked them for being a 4-way. So at the first Kong off, at the very least, that is probably the one time that Billy actually played on a legitimate hardware that was confirmed by a living witness that I'm friends with. That was a former ref. But to go back to this, assuming it to be a 4-way is no better than assuming it to be an 8-way, unless there's good reasons or supplemental data by which to make more informed decision. Which means basically, Rudy, go back to what you were talking about earlier. I want to hear your take on that, actually. He's currently muted, probably listening to family, but...
Sorry, no, it's my son's being bad again.
Oh.
Sorry about that. I'm just trying to keep him from yelling and all that. Oh, Jeremiah, get down, please. Um, about the shaft of the stick. Yeah,
so he basically said, assuming that a 4-way is no better than assuming it to be an 8-way, unless there's a good or supplemental data, which we've tried to go through. You've shown me what a leaf stick or a leaf control is, where you could take the shaft out and put a sleeve in, and you could basically recreate that whole plastic stick with a metal neck very easily.
Yes, you could literally change it, the shaft. I mean, it's pretty much it could pretty much almost, like, I guess you could say, it's universal. The way it's, the size of it, you could get on, and you already know that the height of the stick, you could make it taller or smaller, but the washers, right, the security washer that connects to it, you can
Right.
make it smaller or larger, right? So it wouldn't make no sense making it larger. See, that's an argument there, because it'll actually make it more difficult to play if you have the shaft a lot higher and taller. They don't make no sense. Then you have this huge looking ball. Well, it looks big on the picture. So what I'm thinking is somebody opened up the hatch from the bottom and swap out the quickly could swap out the shaft of that stick and replace it to another one. It's really easy to do that. I would say, I'm gonna say an expert could do that within 2 minutes.
I mean, it's only 4 screws to take off the marquee.
Oh no, you don't have to take off the whole thing. You just gotta take the security washer.
Yeah, that's what I
Tab.
meant.
Yeah.
To take the bolts off the
Yeah.
marquee and get in there.
Jeremiah, please, over there. Yeah.
So the second line or the last line, he talks about the testimonies of Robert Childs, Todd Rogers, and Morning Dove. Well, we already know Todd Rogers is, well, a shitty referee.
No. He's not a shitty referee.
Yes, he's input, his own records with score increments that aren't even possible. Robert Childs and Morning Dove. I've heard about Morning Dove before. I don't know why, but they whatever. Robert Childs and Morning Dove, though, who all swore that Billy Mitchell played at the mortgage broker event was a legitimate DK cabinet machine with original unmodified hardware. I don't think Robert Childs is all that much of an idiot. That's just my opinion. I know Todd's an idiot.
No, he's not an idiot.
Morning Dove, I don't know, so I'm gonna leave that when he says right here that was a lie. I mean, I'm gonna need to see context and like social behaviors to be able to give an opinion for that one. But I reached out to David Race about an hour or so ago in YouTube comment section, and I said, hey, I'd love to talk to you. And the one question that I have for him is this, and I'm just gonna say it publicly.
No.
What do you mean, no?
Oh, no, I'm talking to my son. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep him from making noises. Get down.
Right.
Sorry, can I continue?
So, the context here that I'm looking for, the question that I wanted to ask him is if he wanted to cheat, at a game you're really good at, and you know how the mechanics of the game work, both hardware, software, controllers, whatever. Like, for example, I know that if I'm speedrunning on Ocarina of Time and I'm doing a no-hit run, I know that if I backwalk up Death Mountain on console, the game is slow enough loading up all the boulders falling down that I won't get hit. Whereas if I do it on emulator, on a certain RAM setting, I'll get hit because the boulders fall faster because it's playing off of like actual decent PC hardware and not the generic N64 hardware.
Question:
So I know the
Does
benefits, but
the Appel 50 hertz, does it make a difference on Appel 50 hertz game?
probably you can notice small differences with hardware differences. Um,
Okay.
but what I will say is this, and I wanted to ask, you know, David race this out in the open. What benefit if I was this DK player? If I was the best DK player in the world, and I wanted to cheat a record, I wanted to be easy. I want to make it easy as possible. I want to make it not so painful on my wrist or hand. And I'm just saying this theoretically speaking. Why would I use a longer stick? If I'm trying to do barrel manipulation and it was an 8-way, wouldn't it not be harder to do that for 3 hours, 4 hours consecutively straight? I think my fucking wrist would fall asleep for all the movement that you have to do. Mind you, the taller the stick is, the harder it would be to do the entire fucking run. The whole run would be too difficult to do. Right? I mean, am I
Yeah.
wrong to suggest that?
No, no, no. You're right. You're right. Unless your hands the size of Donkey Kong. No, you're right. It doesn't make no sense to have a long shaft and play it like that. You know what I mean? What you can have a micros just about the good size like that to move with movements. Jeremiah, what I told you. Stop. Sorry. So no, no, no. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. Go, oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Just it's hard to take care. Get over there.
No, you're fine,
Come
man.
on. Be good. All right. All right. Yeah. So it makes no sense to have a longer shaft. Even you could make it shorter. That makes sense. I mean, that's what makes it really suspicious. I just think it's something's wrong there. Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
Todd Rogers is not a cheater.
well, unfortunately, I confirmed that. But that's been I didn't confirm that, but it's been confirmed for forever. I mean, he uploaded a score that's at the wrong point increment system. You know that, right? Pretty.
I I just know that I seen his plays too. I mean, he's godlike player. I don't know why he would need to cheat. That just don't make no sense.
Well, I mean, he uploaded a score that's not possible to do, multiple. So
Well, I have
obviously, he
numbers.
wanted to maintain his record forever. So obviously, he cheated. That's how it works,
Well,
unfortunately.
what I believe is I believe that it was a different revision game that maybe that no one else had, and I believe that is what happened.
I mean, that's a possibility, but there has been no such surfacing, and every story that has been out doesn't check out, and there's been more than one game that he's not credible for, and the other one was proven to be impossible by Apollo outright. So that one, I don't recall the name. I think it was uh, a game about barns, flying through barns or something. I can't remember
Yeah,
what the hell it was.
yeah, yeah. Part 2600 bit plane. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Bitplane, yeah, it did. So it was in that the point increment system was not accurate for his score, and it was impossible to actually get because it was an odd number, and it only goes up by fives and tens. And his final score was like a 3. It's like it ended on a 3, and it's just like what? How did that? How did you get a 3? And just unexplained. He just uploaded it, and the coffee stain one, and that's another one right there. And it's just like okay, yeah, that was
But
just its own little thing.
but let's see. Here's the thing, though. And what I've known, what I've learned is that Activision themselves, the one you said, the coffee stain, Activision themselves verified that. This is literally from Activision. So that makes it really odd.
I don't know. If it's not physically provable to be possible, then
I
it's
mean,
just
because
not.
Activision, yeah, but I mean, Activision is the company itself approving it. That means it has to be legit.
I mean,
Well,
they
what I'm
could make
saying,
up
well, I
whatever
mean,
they want.
they made the game. They made their game, so they will know their game well better than anyone
And
else.
and mind anyone who's watching this or listening to this back, Rudy here is a friend of Billy Mitchell's and Todd and all that. He's met them in person. He knows them, and yet I am friends with him. I have no problem with it. I've been friends with him for years. I don't let people's opinions judge who the hell I talk to. I don't give a shit. I'll talk to whoever the hell I want. Um, Let me get this off the screen because I'm tired of looking at the David Reese message. But I'm gonna show something else. I'm gonna show people why I am not a Billy Mitchell supporter. In one singular sentence, within the last week, and I'm gonna get on camera for this. Within the last week, within several hours of Karl referencing me, I got a copyright complaint from Guinness World Record on my video about Walter Day. That video was from 2020, and I was with Apollo at the time. We were in a call together, and me and him were both fucking pissed. We were both fucking pissed that they announced that. He was even in his Discord general, fucking pissed in general chat, which is not like him. And then, yeah, I proceeded to do a video on that. That video got copyright striked literally several hours after. Not instantaneously, like everyone was saying, like Review Tech USA, respectfully speaking. It didn't go down right away. Actually, I think, and I firmly believe this. I'm not making this as an accusation. I firmly believe this. I believe they waited because Walter Day and Billy Mitchell know that I've spoken and worked with Apollo. Isaiah Johnson definitely knows I've worked with Apollo. They've wanted to take me down for a long time. A long time. I know way too much shit. I know way too much. And I realistically don't care. I've even told Karl, I have 5K subs. I don't give a shit. My channel could go down tomorrow and I won't care. I could literally have my channel terminated and I'll laugh. I'll throw a fucking party. Like, it doesn't apply to me. See, I'm the wild card here, Rudy. Like, in all honesty, I don't present myself in a way to where I actually care about situations where I hold other people accountable for situations. And I like doing that. A nice example. When I first met Frico, we were discussing at the time when you sent me an email. The first time you've ever contacted me, you sent me an email saying that you're an ex-Empire Arcadia member. And I was sitting in a call with him, and we're like, do we even add this guy? Like, who the fuck is this? And I eventually friended you. I'm like, okay, let's talk to him. And yeah, I've gotten off on the right foot with you over time. It's just, one of those things where I don't choose to care and I let people talk for themselves. You're the one that came forward and said that PSP and Cat to Spirit were fucking dog shit. With the No Princess in the Castle. I mean, you want to go over that one, you can. You feel free. But I know that this stream is supposed to be talking about the Twin Galaxies versus Billy lawsuit, but I'm allowed to reminisce. This is my opinions and such.
Sure, I could. I could talk about that. About the No Princess in the Castle. That let's see if I can make it short and sweet on that, because it's a long story. Okay, long story short, on No Princess in the Castle. There's been some confusion because Ferretti wanted me to help bring it down, and along with my wife to help, and then we have I made a group that we some friends and we what do you call it, to talk about the No Princess in the Castle, what's been happening, and then I got to talk to the higher ups of the No Princess in the Castle eventually down the road. And what happened was Ferretti was allowed into the No Princess in the Castle and caused the I guess the if you want to call them the stars of there to leave. They lost some great people there. They lost. I'm trying to remember several people they lost. They just lost a lot of key people. They were for the film. And what happened is that Patrick Scott Patterson and Cat Sparrow were trying to sabotage the film after Ferretti was it became part of the part of the star, I guess, the stardom in there. and they went all war on it. And they're not supposed to be directing because they're not the directors. That's they were trying to act like they're the directors, PSP and Captain Sparrow. I'm just trying to tell you a long story
And this is
short,
coming
and they keep.
from the same guy who tried to steal the Twin Galaxies website, and then afterward, I found out he tried to take Rudy J. Ferretti's domain. I found that to be scummy, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
So
What happened
I
is that
have
they
I
were.
have a nice message for Twin Galaxies. I'm gonna do this. There you go. No
I
one
was
is
gonna.
going to understand this except Jace Hall. Hi, Jace.
Oh shit.
No, this is for anyone trying to look for context for this. Don't ask. Don't look into it. This is not something that is mean or offensive to anyone that doesn't deserve it. Just put it that way. It's not towards Jace. This is actually something that Jace knows about, and it won't matter. It's the individual in this is technically breaking the rules on Twin Galaxies. At least a couple of them.
Maris, can I say something over the Jace thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I'm gonna say that the Jace is kind of like a very new owner of the Twin Galaxies, and
Yes.
I know. Yeah, and what happens is I think the way he modified it kind of hurt it in a way. And the guy's a good guy. He don't get me wrong. He's a good guy, and Jace Hall's a good guy. I just think that he must have steered it in a different direction, and it just doesn't feel like Twin Galaxies no more. I know he's the owner. He has to do all the things that an owner has to do and everything, and that's his responsibility how he wants to for take it. The way he wants to take it. And he also, I know for a fact that he also helped out Ferretti, so like put him on in a stream and everything. So he has done stuff for gamers. I just want to throw out the
Yeah,
Jace Hall is a good
I don't have
guy.
any issue with Jason. I mean, besides maybe the result of the Contra 3 dispute because excessive leeching. I can't judge or shit talk Jace Hall for trying to believe in his opinion and the opinions of whatever dispute that would go on the actual website for
Yeah.
track set rules that he doesn't even know who wrote them because there's no record of which referee wrote whichever rules. I mean, yeah, I know I make fun of him for Blood constantly, which is a game series that he wrote.
No, no, no. See, no, no. See, the thing is, Jace Hall is a legit gamer. So he
I
behaves
know.
just like any gamer. He's just an older guy that behaves exactly like any gamer out there. You know what I mean? He is a true gamer. He's legit. So when he talks shit, he likes to talk shit just like anybody else does. You know what I mean? The only thing that I'm upset, but that's his decision, is that he went after Billy Mitchell on this. That's the only thing I'm upset over him about. But the rest of the stuff I respect him for. Respect. But I just wish this whole charade would have just been over, and he would have just
Oh,
got it
oh,
back. But
oh!
it's
That's exactly what I said to Karl, and that's exactly what's in this video description. I'm gonna just say this for 100% fact. Every time I hear the word Legend, Apollo, or Mitchell within one paragraph, I get fucking upset. I don't like hearing any more of this bullshit. I want Billy Mitchell out of all social media corners and just be completely dropped off the face of the earth. Like social media wise. Just I don't care what you know how do I put it? I don't want to see anything physically bad happen to him. I just want him to not exist on social media. Ever. Like ever again. Because it's like he should have been this should have been done. It's 5 years now. Like it's I just hope the fucking lawsuit ends before the end of this year. Because what I want to do, and I've told Karl this, I want to, when this suit ends, because it's coming up again in October, and I can only hope that it ends before New Year's, which it's unlikely, but I want to go to Apollo server, and on the day that he did what he did, I'm going to say a prayer, and I'm going to focus on doing nothing but whatever I want that is unrelated to this. I will post more scores on Twin Galaxies. I mean, I still have the one score, Fallout New Vegas. I've never even uploaded it. Jace made on my request, he made a special track for essentially what was the same thing of Fallout 3 for New Vegas. Same track settings, and for whatever reason, they put my name on the track rules, which I was like, I don't think I want to post here yet. My name is on the track rules. Can we get that off? It's just, I don't know. I don't have an issue with Jace Hall. I never really had. Um, I've been wanting to find something equivalent to that of a discovery to hand to him. So all this time, for almost near half a decade now, as many times as even Freako and Data God have shoved a huge PDF file that's basically the suit. I have never once, for more than a minute. At one point, I just kind of like remember just going through a couple pages and just looking at a couple testimonies that he told me to look at or whatever. And I just said, whatever. I don't really care. I want to find something outside of this shit because the amount of names when I scrolled through on the affidavits, there's like 70 some people or something in like almost a couple hundred pages, probably more now, of just constant irregular stories from people I have never been mentioned before in any kind of manner. It's just like everyone and their grandma. They're like, oh, it's just like, oh, my brother was standing right here. He saw me do the record. He saw me. It's like, who the fuck is this guy? It's, if I were to sit there and look at every single affidavit, I would start combing through all of them and get nowhere for 3 years. And when I say 3 years, I mean the 3 years after Apollo. And that has never been my interest because if I sit there and try to comb through people are hearsay. When there's a huge group, it's not so much hearsay. But it's still hard to track those people down, see if they're willing to talk about it. I mean, obviously they won't, but if they were willing to off record, does it really matter for me to go after and try to find that out? And I thought about it, like, no. Anything that Jace would have put forward with his attorneys, which was the original photo, the fam photo. So the Florida mortgage broker, everyone is saying, even the Karl fans are saying, and everyone else, literally everyone and their mother currently on YouTube. And YouTube is currently like the court of public opinion. If I hate YouTube for this very reason, and I really do, and this is why I want to go to BitChute. I'm just gonna say it outright. I hate how if you're a content creator and you have an opinion, if you don't pick a side, you get mobbed. Doesn't matter. You're not allowed to speculate. I hate that. I should be allowed it to get on a camera or whatever and give my honest opinion without any kind of negativity over it. I mean, it's kind of stupid. It's like the people that get pissy and try to get argumentative because you have an opinion about a certain video game series. Like, for example, I did a video game video for Breath of the Wild. I don't like the graphics on Breath of the Wild. I played the game. I've spent 2,000 hours on it. I like the gameplay. The graphics are horrible. I don't think they're great. I think they're actually a dumb down, but I don't get to make that decision, So to, kind of sum it up, I don't like YouTube with the current state that it's been in for the last 4-5 years. Ever since Susan took it over, basically, it's gone to shit every other day. Rhythm bot on Discord, in how YouTube has handled other social media platforms kind of approaching theirs. It doesn't seem really friendly. It seems all very moderated, which is entirely up to them. Again, that's speculative. Let me pull up my Guinness World Record takedown. I touched upon it earlier. I'm going to get this off the screen. So this is kind of a snippet of my email that I got. I don't have the exact time. I think it was like 3 in the morning. 3:54 a.m. Mind you, I was at work around 4:30. I was clocking. I was rushing in because I was ending up working a 12-hour at that point. that 12-hour turned out to be like a 16-hour. But this is what I got in the mail on my phone. I was like, oh wow, I got copyright strike by Guinness World Records. My first assumption was, oh, I'm gonna get DMCA strike from an angry Karl fan that's gonna come in here and probably claim one of the 2 videos that I put up about him. All right, I'm ready for the false DMCA's. Come on, let them in. And when I opened up and I looked at the notification, I looked at it closer, and it says the Walter Day conclusion. I'm like, wait, what Walter Day conclusion? And then I look at the whole title. I'm like, oh, that video that I did fucking 4 years ago. Oh my god, why that video? And it was several hours later. And mind you, my first response, and I even the first thing I asked Karl, I'm like, do I pretend that I want to believe that your fans were false DMCA, or this is an actual prank, or like what's going on here? I didn't blame him for any of the hate or anything that I got, but it's like, it's the weirdest possible timing. I mean, just it's speculative timing, you know. I found it to be amazing. I don't know why. Gavin, hell, I'm not sure what you were saying. Sorry, I haven't been looking at chat the whole time. I couldn't have cared. But yeah, I got a copyright strike for that. And then I got the video back within a day. I'm like, I didn't even appeal. I was busy working the whole time, and by the time I was free for even a minute, Karl was like, oh, I have an important question for you. Are you this guy on Twitter talking about the lawsuit? There was some guy that shared a tag on Reddit that had a tag that was very similar to mine, and I swear, I have probably talked to that guy. There is a couple people that me and Apollo had spoken to regularly. Very few. Summing it up very shortly, Warfare, the current, well, I'll just keep it short. The current owner of Apollo server after he passed, as well as my friend, even prior to that. We had spoken to plenty of people in there, off and on. I don't know who that could have been, but I did know about the settlement a little bit before it was even announced. So it was when I was giving him legal advice as to what to do. He asked me if I should settle, or if his exact words. And I told him whatever he feels is best for him and his family. That along the lines, down the lines somewhere, we had a disagreement about a couple things, not regarding the lawsuit, not regarding him settling. It was something completely different that I thought was kind of stupid. And if I have one major regret, there was a point in time where I was supposed to call him a week before Christmas, literally 2 weeks before, he did what he did on New Year's. I've always felt like if I had called him that day, he'd be alive. And, that's something I gotta live with forever, unfortunately. That, a guy who was barely 18 started talking about this, and then for 3 years had to deal with all that crap, and, ends it at the drinking age. This is the only guy that, lost his life over a video game. Like literally. I mean, there are stories online that you hear about. Rudy, what is that that evil arcade machine that was known for giving people heart attacks as they played it? Why am I remembering this? It was a weird Atari game with a smiley face.
Yeah, Berserk.
Berserk, yeah. Where people were getting heart attacks from playing Berserk. It's just like, what the fuck? Other than that, I mean, this is the actual one-time proven case where stress, drama online, and video games actually ended it. I mean, I'm not going to spin a narrative where Apollo, whoever thinks that they blamed, or how do I exactly word this? I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumbling in my head here a little bit. Karl, specifically, in one of Billy Mitchell's YouTube videos that he had uploaded, Billy said that he had filed a defamation specifically for a way that Karl presented how I can't even bring my words to say it, but how he was presenting the reason for Apollo's death. And I looked at a video on YouTube, another one by a guy named Van Burton, and a lot of people are saying that he's kind of an idiot, but he's kind of right about that one and only particular thing. And I'm just gonna say now, it's the same thing that Billy posted, which is, Karl saying outright, I can't even bring myself to say it, that Billy is responsible for our murder, or made a narrative of that, and that it's been since deleted or muted or whatever. I don't know anything about that. I never saw it. I wasn't really, you know, I can't. See, for the most part, I'm not even on camera because even talking about this upsets the hell out of me. That's how bad it is for me. That's why I'm showing Discord instead. Um, I will disagree with all of that, specifically because Apollo's suicide note YouTube videos. In addition to that, just the way that when I was talking to him last, it's completely unrelated. There was multiple things that were going on, and it's unfortunate. And I'm not going to say anything more for that one, but yeah. So this lawsuit, to go back on this, and I'm gonna put up a different photo because I don't want to see this thing from Guinness anymore. It's kind of surprising that Guinness actually gave me back that video though. I'm gonna put up a different photo. This is a completely different photo, unrelated, which Frico wanted me to post because he thought it would piss people off. I don't know why. Him, I don't know why him putting up a thumb would actually piss people off, but whatever. For those of you who don't know, and I've already specified this, Frico is a former Twin Galaxies referee. Well, not really referee, but more of a staff that helped Richie run the website a little bit, run certain events. The guy goes to conventions regularly. And it's kind of crazy that for all that he has done in his career, that he's been pretty much dismissed off, but he's a living witness to a majority of the behind the door scenes. And again, I can't stress that enough, that when you retire or pull out of a company and you have to sign an NDA or something along those lines, that's sometimes not always the case. It sticks with you. Not the NDA, but like your memories of the time that you were doing stuff. And eventually, that when those people talk, they're the ones that are actually having all the information that will always be looked for. So people like PSP, unfortunately, which I'm not going to go over that guy again, who tried to steal Twin Galaxies' website. He, relayed to me that while his time as a referee, even damaging, what was it? Rudy J. Ferretti's, he damaged one of his records or whatever and broke the disc and told him to go fuck himself or something.
In my permit that to be accurate, I think it was I think it was a I think he told me, or I heard it from somebody, there was a copy of it. He just did that like more of a joke. I'll try to remember if he did that. If he told me that, I'm not sure if he told me that, but I think it was a joke of some sort. And this flared off already and caused the war with him because Patrick Scott Patterson used to go to Ferretti's house to validate his scores a long time ago. So they were friends at one point. At one point. So I don't know what happened from there on, but yeah. So that's what happened. I believe it was either a copy, or and it was done as a joke, but it was taken serious. I'm not sure if that's what you're saying.
Yeah, so I remember a little bit of that video where it was just a call, and you could hear in the background him snapping the disc and say, "Here's your record, Rudy," or some shit like that. And for years, he just taunted Rudy for being a fucking nut job. But the funny thing is that upon his deathbed, he had a huge magnitude of multiple word pads saved to his computer that were a lot of the admin archives for Twin Galaxies, because during that one point in time, PSP, I don't know if it was PSP or somebody else, he was banned from Twin Galaxies, but instead of banning him, he got admin. Yeah, big brain mistake. It was for a very short time. Yep, he showed me this. He showed him having admin status. It was only for like 28 minutes or so. No one noticed for that entire time, and he just started copying archives after archives of just things that he saw. He would open up multiple instances of Internet Explorer at the time, and he would just sit there and start like screen capping, or taking pictures with his phone and then writing them down on Notepad just in case his phone ever got damaged or something. He kept it all on backup, and Data God gave me something equivalent to what was a little bit of a word pad that Rudy had claimed. But Freddy, I'm sorry, I didn't want to say Rudy because you're also Rudy. Freddy in particular, had all that shit. And I thought that was insane that, he kept all that to himself for years. There's a lot of incriminating crap against some of the staff and some of the referees in there, and I have that. It's stuff that Jace Hall doesn't have access to, because at the point when he bought the website, I'm pretty sure the threads for the staff section don't exist, because this shit was well after the I'm gonna say the redo of the website.
I was gonna say that yes, that is correct. He got information off from Twin Galaxies forums, and then he found out that the TG members or staff members name, I'm trying to remember his name, is uh uh Duncan. I'm trying to remember Duncan something. I don't something about Duncan something. Yeah, wears like a bandana over his head. What do you call it? Tom Duncan. There you go. I think it's
Yeah.
Tom Duncan. Yeah, it started talking shit about Ferretti secretly in the staff section of the forums, and that's how things went out. That's when he exposed Twin Galaxies for corruption. The way he calls it corruption and collusion, and that's how the whole get up started. Pretty much right from there. He had no idea. I think Ferretti told me that someone from the inside helped him out. He didn't say who it is, but someone from the inside helped him out.
Well, I got that archive. And that archive on Twin Galaxies currently, I'm more than positive doesn't exist. That is that is for me to do whatever with. I could just post it, delete it, fart on it. I couldn't care what I
Yeah,
do with it.
I wouldn't. If you know the person that did it, I would not recommend that. I wouldn't recommend you expose that person, whoever helped out already.
Oh, well, I mean, no shitter right there. I'm not gonna fucking do that.
No,
Because
just
I
yeah.
kind of already know the person who did. I'm not, just from the things that I saw in there, just in some of the notepad files. These WordPad notepad files. He had a mixture of them. There was like about 40 of them or so. It it's just a tirade. I remember he would go off on voice chat on me and be like, "Oh, this is." He's like, "Maris, you should look at some of these records sometime. Like, look at this fucking nasty shit they say in their fucking admin board." I'm like, Rudy, I don't know about this shit. I just joined Twin Galaxies the other day. It's like, dude, I don't know anything about fucking the old Twin Galaxies, man. I just joined the website. Give me a break. You know?
Well,
Mm.
yeah, it got popular after the King of Kong film.
Exactly. Like, no one knew about it when they were involved with Guinness, and Guinness was writing the books, and this was like early 2000s. and they were doing the gaming edition of Guinness. That was probably Twin Galaxies and Guinness's best time in their best era, in their best day. Everything after that just turned to shit. Like,
Well,
imagine
you,
today, if back in the day, you remember hearing about you needed to pay for submissions.
yes, that's exactly right. That is exactly right.
You had to pay. It was like $50 for a submission or something, and now
Uh,
it's free.
y-
You can
yeah,
just
that.
upload whenever. Is everything going all right over there?
Yeah, I'm trying to mute my son's noises.
Ah, I got you.
Yeah, so it's just like whenever he flares up loud enough, I don't want it to render the string.
I understand.
Well, I forgot what I was trying to say. I was gonna say something important. Y- yeah. Oh yeah. Now I remember. I think when see that the in my honest opinion, when they when Jace Hall well got rid of Billy Mitchell, and the way I see it, got rid of Walter Day. It pretty much killed the whole Twin Galaxies scene, because you know what I mean. That is what exactly what made Twin Galaxies, and you know what I mean. It's like an example. It's what made United States, right? All that slavery shit that
Abraham
black
Lincoln.
yeah, United States was built by immigrants, and all the slavery shit was done. All the bad stuff was done to create United States. Not trying to say Billy Mitchell and Walter Day are bad people. I'm just saying how things are made. You know, you can't like change
Wow, you just
history for what
compared
it
them to
is.
slaves.
No, man.
You just
Get my words
compared
out of
them to slaves, Rudy.
I'm trying to
You're
get my
gonna
words
get
out of
exposed. Look at you. No, I'm just fucking relax.
no. I'm just trying to say is Twin Galaxies got made like Twin Galaxies got made. You know what I mean? It's like Billy Mitchell was like he is the star of Twin Galaxies. So it's like, I mean, if they're going to do that, it might as well say, you know what? Then in that case, destroy all the things that made United States. Destroy all the monuments and statues and all the crazy shit that made what made United States. You know what I'm
I
saying?
was being funny just now.
I'm just saying. I think it was a bad mistake to get rid of Billy Mitchell and Twin Galaxies. It was a bad mistake. Bad mistake on I guess in Jace Hall's part. Jace Hall's cool. He's cool, but I think that was a bad mistake. You know, I don't know. I mean, let me ask you this, Maris. If you was the owner of Twin Galaxies, and something that something that made the company for what it is, are you going to keep its legacy the way it is, or are you going to completely make it the Maris era? You know what I mean? Your own style. Do you believe in originality, or do you believe in altering?
So you're asking me my opinion on if I were to run Twin Galaxies, what would I actually do with it?
Right? Would you keep it
How would I run
original?
it different? What would I do differently from Jace Hall if I had full
Right.
ownership?
But let's say you know what you know about Billy Mitchell. Would you keep Billy Mitchell and Todd Rogers and Walter Day and all that?
Absolutely not. I would throw out the
Oh,
entire database, the whole thing. I
but
would.
you
What this
throw
is what I would do, and hear me out.
okay.
What I would first do is the current TGSAP process. Make that the one and only process. Everything needs to be done by video. Demand that the previous owners of all records at that time submit proof of doing it. Anyone that had a referee doesn't count anymore. It needs to have video proof so that way we know the methods and ways that would have gone about being done. Give them like 1 year, and if they don't, pull their records. Doesn't matter. They didn't follow our policy. Get out. Now, you could argue, well, how is that fair? I'll give you a reason why it's not fair. I pointed this out to Jace Hall. The other record for Fallout 3 on Twin Galaxies right now is by Anthony Walsh as a 55-hour DVD submission. At first, I thought it was 55 minutes. I wasn't counting all the fucking O's. When someone had pointed out that this isn't 55 minutes, this is 55 hours, I'm like, what? Does Jace have the tapes? I mean, mind you, at the time, a DVD could only hold like what 2 to 6 hours of footage. So they would have had to send in like at least 25 discs or something like that. And this wasn't a really good era for burning DVDs and shit like that. So these got submitted, and it's a solid 5500000, the whole thing. There's no seconds, no minutes. It's just a flat zero. And I asked Jace, I'm like, "Do you have record of this?" He's just like, "No." All right, toss it. What's the point? This guy doesn't have a single username or anything attached to him. He has no other records. Who is he? Why is it here? And does he even exist? Can he be contacted? Like, Twin Galaxies has the contact information of everyone who signs up. When you sign up on Twin Galaxies, you agree to, give your information so that way they can put it on record books. And that's the whole point of the system anyway. So even I have my name revealed on there, like my actual name, which anyone can go look that up right now. I don't give a fuck. And it's a pretty stock name, if I'm being honest. And my last name on the website, technically, it's not even my blood-related name, but it doesn't matter either way. It is my last name legally, but it's, on an unrelated note, my father's father is adopted, so, war issues. I don't want to really get into that, but unrelated. How else would I do differently? What I would do is I would break a deal with Amazon and have an ebook for sale of everything and every record that has ever been set on my website within that year, every other year, and basically cut any ties I have with Guinness, because look what they're doing now. They're an absolute terrible shit show of a company that went around mass DMCAing the community of people and gamers alike and just ultimately shitting on them. I realistically don't care for other world records out there, like some of the weirder ones, like how long can you go without eating, or like how many hot dogs you need. There's some silly ones like that out there, and whatever. That can be reserved for any other company or even Guinness. Whatever, I don't care. But video games, art, music, animations, all that stuff, I feel like should be held to a different standard, to a much different standard. It shouldn't be treated like Hollywood or TV. I feel like, if I had more control, and if I had full control over Twin Galaxies, rather, I would try to buy speedrun.com. I would get rid of this idea that he should be an esports, so I would get rid of this Team Echo Fox crap. I would sell that out, buy speedrun.com. I would move everything over into one site, and I would try to buy as many how do I put it? Many other sites that have like their own individual speedrun tips for per game. So, for example, ZeldaSpeedruns.com. I would buy that out and completely remove the domain owners and everything, and just transfer everything to my name and just make it under the Twin Galaxies brand. Any other website that would show tips, so like I don't know if there's a Contra speedrunning site. There probably is. Metroid speedrunning, Final Fantasy speedrunning websites. I would buy those out and have them as officiated links. So that way, you go to that site and it sends you back to us. So then you have like basically a giant network of a bunch of websites with tips and guides, and you can attract a following of people that want to play those tracks, that are fans of those games. They try to look up tips. They find out, oh, there's a website specifically for uploading. Oh, let me go there. All right, I'm going to go upload a score. Oh, great. Now they're on ebooks. Bam, you're done. I feel like that'd be the better way to run Twin Galaxies. Jace Hall can run it any way he wants, but that is just my take on it. It's not a generally accepted take, but it's mine for what it is. And that's how I would approach it. I wouldn't keep these grandfathered records anymore. I wouldn't even give them a separate category. I'd give them a temporary category for 1 year, and if they couldn't come back or prove otherwise on camera doing the score, they would lose all their scores. There's no point in a legacy on falsehood, no proof, no visual. If people were able, and especially if the old Twin Galaxies referees were able to input their own scores. if you were able to input your own score on a database, your credibility's out the fucking window. What Todd Rogers did by inserting his own records and ones that are in point increment impossible, that has completely destroyed any past credibility that Twin Galaxies had. When I mean credibility, I mean trusting in the referees. I mean, you saw what PSP did to Rudy, who's
Yeah,
just
I
a
know.
regular
I
fucking
know.
player. You know, it's one of those situations where over years of time, people were allowed it to be shitty. They got away with it. And then that's that. And then somebody came along and said, hey, here's this broken mess that has potential. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to play with it. I'm going to do what I want with it. And that's Jace Hall right now because, you know, I mean, the last major thing he did was voice a toaster in Fallout New Vegas. Well, I'm being
Oh,
facetious
don't
and
forget.
silly when
Don't
I say
forget.
that.
Oh, by the way, you forgot his Blood game. He's the guy that created Blood for the PC.
Blood 5 when?
The original
No,
Blood for the PC.
I'm being silly about it, obviously. I
Oh,
really am. You know. Let me.
yeah. I mean,
I think Frico's still
uh,
asleep. Let me ring him real quick.
okay.
Probably not gonna answer.
I still. I mean,
Yeah,
I
he's
I
out cold.
I'm still. I want to say, Maris, I still refuse. I still believe that Todd Rogers and Billy Mitchell are not cheaters. It's just not possible. They, it's just not possible.
Well, I don't know about, factually saying Billy because I'm waiting for the lawsuit to finish. But Todd Rogers, flat out. I mean, dude, you put in your own scores, you sealed your own fate. That is something that Twin Galaxies should never have allowed it.
Yeah.
Should have been
You saying it's
investigated.
it's what's that term? Can I say this term just so you say you saying it is a conflict of interest? Could that be
Yes.
used in that term?
Why would it not be a conflict of interest for a referee to essentially put in their own score? It's like, for example, hey, I'm gonna go to work and then I'm gonna clock in, but then I'm not gonna clock out, but then I'm gonna go to the back room to where they manage all the time clock stuff, and I'm just gonna write in that I worked 100 hours this week, but I only worked 2 hours. Bye, I'm gonna clock out. See ya. It's like you shouldn't have that kind of control, even if you work as a time manager for that, or like one of the time punch people. It's not correct to do. It's not ethical. Um, I mean, I think that's a shitty example, but like that's what I'm trying to say. Like you shouldn't. They should not have been allowed it to do that. They should not have been allowed it to accept bribes of any kind of manner. Like when it came to, and I have in my description of this stream, if anyone is watching still, if you go down below in the stream, I have links talking about Isaiah Johnson, which is, um, you know, Empire Acadia's owner. So this is technically Rudy here is technically an old friend of his. Uh, in those videos, I go over the Contra 3 dispute and I go over Isaiah Johnson as a whole. I got thanked by Apollo for that. He thought that video was amazing. I saved him some effort and time. You know, that video showed him and even agreed with me that I am, more well aware than a lot of people would actually fucking think. So I'm basically the last 3 years. I'm a walking remnant of legacy of his, if I can even put it like that way. I'm the one person that would remember a majority of the stuff that he had remembered. It's like I don't. I'm not sitting here and tooting my horn, or I'm not trying to clout chase that. I'm not trying to attention chase that. I couldn't give two flying shits for attention. I've told people outright, I don't care if my channel gets banned, it's a fucking vacation for me. I could do literally anything else. I just want to get the guy that is literally in the black tie, or I'm sorry, the American flag black fucking suit, or whatever. I just want him no longer referenced on the internet, just altogether. Just completely erase the man. Just, yeah. That's about it. It's like I don't have any fucking bad dealings with anybody online. It's just like, what the shittiest thing with people is, Rudy?
Hey, what's up?
You know what the shittiest thing about people?
What's up?
There, a lot of people on YouTube, and just in general, they see a story and they go with it, and then they pick a side, and that's such a that's like every creator. And most creators, if they see a positive side with a lot of people backing it, they'll side with that, and they'll think that's the only side. And then when their side
So,
gets screwed over, shit hits the fan. Here's
well,
and then I pointed this out
you
to
say
Karl.
uh-huh.
No, what were you
Okay.
gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say, so you're saying it's very biased, very
Oh,
biased.
incredibly biased. I hate YouTube for that very reason. A lot of the people on YouTube, they're sheeple. They are. A lot of the people that are unwoke. And what I mean by unwoke, I mean they don't actually fucking look to do shit for themselves. They, in what Crimson Alchemy said to me the other day, they follow their equivalent of a YouTube god. So I'm like, what the fuck are you on about? And he's like, yeah, these people that are these big content creators that, buy their following. I'm like, what do you mean by their following? And I already knew about, a lot of the people that are fake on the platform that in the past I've watched them stare at Social Blade, which is a website for watching your following, and they would buy subscribers and shit to build a following and just be outright fake. I knew one guy that was so mentally ill that he and his wife were collecting disability and using the disability money on YouTube revenue and subscribers. And I just thought that was fucking sad. So, I mean, what does that exactly say? I mean, really, I feel like a lot of the people that use the internet as a whole too, they're really undereducated. I feel like they don't touch grass, which is, I mean, I know that's kind of a fucking stupid thing to say, but couldn't be any more true. We have a lot of young people now that are currently, in this generation that actually don't work. And I know this is unrelated to the stream, but like I'm just saying this outright. We have a lot of people in this generation that don't work, that are between the ages of 18 and 30. They don't want to work. They're on disability, on Social Security or something. And
That's the American way.
they're like, borderline
What's
homeless
up?
almost, but they don't want to do anything with their lives. So, but hey, let's go buy a phone with what little money we have, and let me go argue and support my favorite creator, and nothing that creator could possibly say could ever be wrong. It's like, imagine if you will, and I'm going to say this outright. Imagine if Zelnus, the guy who posted the first dispute on Twin Galaxies about Billy Mitchell, imagine this is still the time when AVGN talked about Billy Mitchell's hot sauce. Okay? Imagine that it's around that time period and everyone still likes Billy Mitchell. And he's never found out. And time keeps spinning. Y'all didn't think he was bad, right? It's I like posing what if scenarios a lot because I'm going to say this straight. The US, our justice system is fucking horrible. It is outright horribly unfair. There are plenty of times where cases get thrown out that shouldn't be thrown out, should be taken to court, or actually should be seen by a judge. There are times where cases ultimately get flopped for the wrong side, which you might say you're saying the wrong side. How does that prove anything? Even with proof, there are times where judges are paid off, or they know a friend of a friend, or they're just going to close a case because they're too lazy to actually look. I don't know. I could name the Casey Anthony case or OJ. I mean, I could cite multiple different things, or, um, I could
United States is run
reference.
by corruption.
Oh yeah, no shit. That's a given. But no other country that I have ever heard outside the U.S. is just as, fucked up as ours, just outright. So when Apollo was issued a lawsuit from Billy, I already knew that our justice system is so fucked up that he was going to lose. And I hate that. Even though he was in the right, and even though he was right. And that's just how it works here. The U.S. works backwards, and you know how they have the in Soviet Russia, it's like everything is in reverse. Well, our legal system over here in the U.S. is fucking in reverse constantly. It never makes any sense. I mean, like Roe v. Wade now overturned, and what was it? People not able to get birth control. I mean, you look at that, and now 5 years into a lawsuit over video games that has shaken YouTube, which is the court of public opinion, that is constantly subject to change. And but God forbid if a creator has a public opinion. It doesn't make sense to me that I'm not allowed to have one as a creator. It really don't. I'm laughing about it because I find it as a joke, you know, like it's. And I know you're taking care of Jeremiah in the background, but what is Kim's view on that? May I ask, Rudy?
Sorry. I was trying to calm my son down. Say again. Sorry.
What is Kim's opinion on the betterment of the U.S. justice system? Let me
Well,
hear it from
if
her.
she was if she was here, she'll tell you that it's all shit.
Is she not there with you right? Oh, she's out getting groceries right now, right?
No, she wanna go get us three burritos. Yeah, because I was gonna cook, but she decided to want to get three
There's a
burritos,
race joke
or else we're
somewhere
not.
in there.
A what?
There's a race joke somewhere in there. I just don't know where.
The burritos?
Yeah, she just
Yeah,
went
you
to
know,
go
man.
get three burritos. Like that
Yeah, they're not
exact
gonna get that
phrase.
nasty ass
I
fried
don't know
chicken.
why. It just sounds like there's a racist joke in there. I don't know why. It just does.
We don't,
I can't
we don't
help
want no
that.
nasty. I said we don't want no nasty fried chicken.
That's horrible.
No, I'm just kidding. Come on, man. Just
Come
kidding.
on.
No,
No.
actually, it's more expensive getting KFC. Actually, so I wish I had it, but it's more expensive.
Really?
So it's kind of more budgety if you go for a burrito. And you should know because I know you like Mexican food,
Oh, I do. I know.
and you even make your own burritos, right?
I have in the past, yeah. I used to
Oh,
I was a assistant manager for a Mo Southwest Grill, and that was like when I was 17. So I mean, I didn't mind it. I liked culinary shit. I have
well, that's
multiple
cool.
talents, but like I think the worst of it is that with my deteriorating health, I'm not gonna get to use all of them. I hate that.
Really? Oh
Yeah,
man.
with the
We tried
urologist
all.
saying there's a chance I have kidney cancer, and yeah, it sucks. There's a lot of things I want to be able to do. Like there's before I pass myself, it's like, hey, I want to go to. I've always wanted to go to Japan just for the hell of it. Uh, I want to go to Skyline Tower again, which is in Canada, and I kind
Oh,
of
you
wanted
been
to
to
meet
Canada?
the original cast of Trailer Park Boys because they're like the equivalent of the Canadian Three Stooges. I like
Yeah.
them. I thought they were great, even in their old age. The actors are pretty hilarious. Uh, I don't know if Data God's
I was
back.
gonna tell,
Everyone vanished.
I was gonna tell you,
We
I
were
was gonna tell you
talking
that
for hours
they
before. We were talking for hours before this even I started streaming.
well,
So that's.
we completely went.
I'm sorry. What were
I
you
was
gonna
gonna
say?
say we completely went off subject, didn't we?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I mean, our conversations usually go like that. We fucking prattle on all fucking night about stupid shit. It's another fucking day for me. I mean, I'm mostly looking
Yeah,
at.
just to-
What were you gonna say?
yeah, just I'm gonna throw it out there. If you hear my son noise, he suffered from autism. So
I'm well aware of
just
that.
throwing that
You
out.
you already said that early on. Uh,
Oh, good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was gonna tell you that Ferretti used to teach me how to do those little do real good pizzas, and I didn't have no idea he knew how to make pizzas, and they were the best I've ever tasted.
I see a message here that you deleted a while back from a K Burns. This says forcing dumb arguments and hyper focusing on the one thing that doesn't really matter. He played for a short time. No one was there. The VCR wasn't even set up. I mean, we didn't see a VCR. And that's not how the records were even done. The way records were done back then, and since it was referee verified, was it was verified in person. It didn't need a VCR. If we're referring to the photo of the broker photo, that would have just been done in person with witnesses. Because that's all. That's the screwed up thing with Twin Galaxies. That's all you needed back then. Yeah, that's it's a stupid little thing. It makes no sense to me why Twin Galaxies has not tossed down a majority of the records to avoid lawsuits like this. Because I get it, his entire fame and fortune is built around the idea that he's this prince of gaming, but I mean, realism, if he's able to do it once, he's able to do it again. Just make him do it again. Who cares? Who cares if he did it first? If you clear the whole record board at that point, wouldn't it be better to have a real challenge? That would mean that King of Kong is completely fake, right? I mean, we already know that Tim Sherby is the real King of Kong.
The king, the King of Kong is just it's just a
A made up
movie.
title.
It's not.
It's a made up title
Yeah,
though, but
yeah,
it belongs to fucking Tim Sherby though.
yeah. Because see, the thing is that it's just a movie. It's not real. It's not real
I'm more
documentation.
along the
A lot
lines
of that
waiting
is,
until I'm waiting until Tim Sherby files a lawsuit against Billy. Like
yeah.
if
Oh, by
proven,
the way,
depending on the case direction for Twin Galaxies, whichever it's ruled as, I can't wait to see Tim Sherby send one to Billy.
I, I was gonna tell you that I'm good friends with Tim Sherby, so
Oh really?
yeah, I've talked to him and everything.
I'd love to talk to him.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah,
love to
it's
talk
the
to him
lawsuit.
and David Race. David Race sent me
Yeah,
an audio clip once of Casey Ross and him going at it.
yeah. The current world record
I thought it was funny.
holder on the Donkey Kong, as far as I know it right now, as far as I know, is Robbie Lakeman. But he's not getting any press over this. He's not getting any media attention. It's like they're doing it again.
Yeah, you know what the problem is with the
Why don't?
limelight? It's problematic in every direction.
Yeah, it's like no one wants to talk about Robbie Lakeman. I mean, that's the current champion, and they're like, "Hey, I'm the guy who made the Donkey Kong world. You know, I'm the champion, but no one wants to talk about me." I mean, I don't know. I mean, give credit to credit is due. You know what I mean? Like if Robbie Lakeman is the champion, they should be talking about the champion. Agree?
Oh yeah, but you know that's not how it works on YouTube. It's not how it works on social media anymore. The problem is that you're trying to appeal to, a general consensus of people that sit there and they think TikTok is their whole world,
It
and that's the kind
it
of
is.
people that we deal with now.
I don't know what to say about the TikTok is out of control. I mean, I don't
Oh,
want
it
to
is.
hate, be a
TikTok is
hater.
fucking stupid.
I mean, if it makes people happy, that's all good and dandy. I mean, but just don't let it take over your complete life. I mean, I'm don't
Oh,
you
I've
know
seen
what's
it.
up, Eric.
I,
You
I
know,
I had a couple friends like I used to hang out with them. We used to go jogging and shit, and now they make nothing but TikTok
uh-huh.
videos. They stay curled up in their house. Have you ever seen the Family Guy episode where Quagmire's doing Tinder and he's like curled up in a ball and
No,
the lights are fucking closed off and he's like swiping yes on everything? That was pretty much when I went to go meet my friend the one day, and this
uh-huh.
was about 2 years ago, and he's just curled up in a ball and he's sitting there and he's looking at his TikTok and he's like thinking about the next video he's gonna make, and he was busy playing with a cup of ramen.
Well, it's because
I'm like, dude, are you all right? Like,
I mean,
he
can I be
needed
honest?
help.
Well, can I just be frank with you? It's not even much that. It's like we it's just that a lot of us have nothing better to do. You know what I
Work.
mean? Nah, man, we don't want to work for nobody, man. That sucks.
You could work for the benefit of your own health and money.
No, of course, of course. I mean, you have to work if you want to eat and everything.
Oh,
I
but
guess.
obviously, but it's like today's society of people. That's not happening. They don't
Well,
they don't want to do anything. The only reason
nobody.
I'm not at work this week is because fucking antibiotics right now, and hospital's
Uh-huh.
just like, hey, you're not allowed to work for a week. You
No,
can't
work is
walk on your own.
no work is the thing is working is healthy because it makes you focus on what you got to do. You know what I mean?
Meanwhile, you lift anywhere from like 50 to 600
Uh-huh.
pound boxes all day, so it's whatever. I think the heaviest thing I've ever lifted was a fucking Walmart crane, but yeah, subjective.
Yeah.
Subjective. No one gives a
Yeah.
shit. It's one of those
Yeah.
things.
I mean, like I said, nobody wants to work for a boss. I mean, it'll be nice to work for yourself. That's the thing to go, but you just gotta find a way, I guess, to do it. But the I don't know what to
This is what it's
say.
thing
I
though.
mean,
Yeah, no, the general consensus of people is actually outright terrible. When most of them and most people don't want to do anything outside of following YouTube, which is their only go-to, or following Twitch. I feel like people
because
have become so subjective that they are not even themselves anymore.
it's our comfort zone. We don't want to leave.
I I have no problem with leaving and going to work. That's the funny thing. I prefer working over this.
Why are you messing with the router like that? Yeah, sorry, sorry.
Suddenly you get kicked off
Yeah,
the internet.
no, he's just like literally messing with my Netgear router. My please. I just let him play with it, but just that it's the only way I could keep him to calm. He is the destroyer of worlds. He'll destroy anything. Um,
I want to
Maris
present an
already.
argument. I want to present an argument, or just a showcase of something. This is another thing I wanted to
Okay.
go over about uh, Twin Galaxies, about how I would run things. And eventually, I don't know if what I'm about to show is going to become a standard. And I'm going to show it simply as a demonstration. It's going to be two different controllers. You've already seen me show this off before. It's not something that is unknown or brand new. Um, I'm going to show it now. So I have here a generic Nintendo Switch controller with the plastic slide-on control pad, which realistically that's what it is. In the future, this probably just turned on automatically out there, but whatever. Oh, so in the future, what I wanted to ask is this. Let's say in the far distant future, 45 years from now, whatever, Twin Galaxies is still around, and this is basically a dinosaur. Alright?
Uh-huh.
We'll probably have better tech, maybe PlayStation 8. I mean, who the fuck would know, right? So,
Well, the thing is, mhm.
what I was
Twin
going to say
Gas is
is,
gonna have a lot. Oh no, go ahead. Sorry, I talked out of turn. Go on.
this eventually will be old as shit, just like any other console. And any of the games on it, so any of the games that you could buy on the shop or any DLC, people won't be able to run them, just like the Nintendo Wii, where you can't download WiiWare games. So some of Isaiah Johnson's scores, for example, his WiiWare Tetris Party score, you can't compete on that currently on Twin Galaxies. Not by the standard, and unless you download Homebrew, and if that's not allowed you can't run it. It's grandfathered in. How is that fair gameplay? That's one problem I have. Now, I have another problem. What if in the future, and this is an inquiry I would say to Jace Hall, and he's probably have had this question before. I don't even know if it's ever been a thought to him that's crossed his mind. If it's possible that using a different type of controller or future hardware or certain settings changes the way the game plays, or let's say you're using an emulator and you're using a certain CPU output, do you have to show the CPU output or whatever if it's processing the game faster? And let's say the player doesn't know that, maybe they have to default it to it. How many different track sets are we going to have? Another problem I would have. let's say you're running a really old game. You're playing an N64 game, and I showed this off on stream many, I would say, several months back. You have an N64 controller. If you take a look at this, there's something wrong with this controller. Just by one visual look, someone that has actually touched an N64 controller before, I'm pretty sure Karl could tell right off the bat what the problem is with this controller. Look at the stick.
That it's a third party.
Yeah, the stick is a GameCube stick add-on. Now, here's my problem. The N64 stick, for years now, have been known to go loose, and the inside rubber ball that is in the shaft that is inside the component, it goes loose, and you can no longer even use the control stick, and then it just wobbles around on a shake. This, it just retracts instantaneously. So this is actually a better stick. It actually works as intended. It does all 8 directions, just like the N64 stick. What happens when there is no official OEM N64 sticks that don't have a worn out ball? Do people continue to use the worn out stick or replace the rubber insulator inside the resistor so that way it moves around just fine? Are people going to have to go into the OEM controller and modify it in order to actually play and do a legitimate record with that? Or are we just going to allow exceptions? I feel like later down the line, and this is not just going to be something that is on Twin Galaxies, I feel like it'll be on many other video game platforms like speedrun.com and Twin Galaxies and any other platform that's out there. Eventually, we're going to get to a point where we're going to have to show everything from startup to system settings to hardware to what kind of controller you're using, what version of the game you're using, what version of an emulator you're using, what version of the ROM, everything. And what is that going to say for detrimental? Let me see. What is that going to do for detrimenting people from playing? What is that going to do to stop them from playing? Is it going to put people off? Or are people still going to run? And how would that affect the past records? Keep in mind that over the years, Twin Galaxies has taken records off the site and like ripped them the fuck down. They've either taken them down altogether or they just, they didn't give a fuck. Sometimes they would combine them together. There are times where they saw 2 track sets and they split the 2 records apart from one track set to another because they had to accommodate somebody. So, Roy Schilt's Missile Command. 2 different ball type settings, yet it's under the same track. This was stated by Roy, and yet it's under the same track by Walter Day. And it's not even on the correct track setting. Technically speaking, if I'm not mistaken, and point me if I'm wrong here, but Roy Schiltz is still technically the champion of Missile Command, correct? For that,
I don't know if you're telling me. I don't know. Well, then it's I can't even touch bases on that part. Or, I mean grounds on that. Roy Schultz. I would say he's legit. I would say he's legit and just
yeah,
having an argument just the same way that he
we're
feels
having
that
now.
he's been done wrong. I don't know if that guy is even alive.
I've tried to reach out to him a couple times, and people have believed that he passed away during COVID, which is unfortunate.
Because he was in son. I need batteries for this. It won't work without it. Um, it needs batteries. Sorry about that. It needs batteries. I can't turn it on like this. Um, well, he was in the crutches last time I seen him. He was in the crutches on the Feed for All LA Convention Center of 2000 and I believe 2008. He was on crutches, so he looked in really bad condition. So if the COVID, I don't know if the COVID got him or not. You saying that it did?
There's a chance it might have. If I'm just gonna say this now on record, if Roy Schultz finds this or hears this, man, say something on Twin Galaxies or something. Or repost on your YouTube channel on Captain Awesome, because People are wondering where the hell you went
Yeah.
because the guy kind of dropped off the face of everything, which is highly unfortunate. It's like it reminds me of Freddy a little bit. It's like one day he was there, and then I'm streaming Fallout 3, and then you come to me, and it's just like, hey, Maris, he's no longer on this earth. I'm like, I'm fucking slamming my controller. I'm pissed off. Like,
No,
it,
no,
shit pisses me off.
Roy Schwartz was done. I think I think he was done wrong. He wouldn't be acting the way he is. He was done wrong. I think that the person that got supposedly that at the time that got his
He went to
supposedly
Big
his
Bang
biggest score.
2010. He went to Big Bang 2010, where Billy was promoting his score with a pre-printed magazine,
Uh huh.
and Roy went up to him, and I remember seeing footage of this from Zelma's for a little Zelnia, just for a short bit. And the footage
Uh
was
huh.
basically him going up to him, like, "Where's the score? What do you mean? You guys announced it." He called out literally everything that had happened, and then Billy just walked up and he walked away. Meanwhile, the camera pans to the left, and it's just Roy Schultz just going off on him, and it's just him alone. And this is the same photo that you can see the girder finger playing in, not just the one and only one from RTM. Which I'm kind of disappointed that uh, the few times that I tried to get a hold of RTM to talk to him, he never reached out back to me. Even with the times that I have uh, messaged Rudy, and they were good friends, and I could never talk to him.
Yeah.
Never
I
could.
I met RTM in person at Fun Spot in 2009. He's a really good guy to know in person. Really nice, really swell guy to talk to.
I just don't understand why he didn't want to speak to me. Like, he completely avoided me. I'm wondering if it's
I,
because I had contact with, Cat the Spira for a short time, and he's just like, oh, anyone who, because I'm pretty sure he had a huge distaste for her, because I could already see that. I could see him
yeah,
going, oh, anybody who likes her is, who's
there's
that
a lot
guy?
of bad blood within the Twin Galaxies community. So that may be a reason for that. He's just trying to lay low.
Yeah, no.
You know the I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he actually was actually helping out Ferretti when Ferretti talked shit about him many times. I was surprised that he got at least an interview with him.
Oh yeah,
I was shocked. I wouldn't think the RTM will do that, with him, but he did, and he threw out his
and Rudy recycled the images and shit that I gave him, which I thought was hilarious. I
oh
uh I got a couple photos of Rudy that I grabbed online, and I edited them to make them look really good. And he's just
uh,
like, "Yo, send me those so I could use them for my content." I'm like, "All right, fine, here." And then he proceeds to take the image I originally had planned for interviewing Robert Merzak myself, and
hmm
he asked me put them together. I'm like, "What do you mean put them
you
together?"
might.
He's like, "I want to interview him." I'm like, "Okay, fine, here. I'm gonna make the thumbnail for you."
The best way I could think of is if you want to get in contact with RTM is talk to a friend, someone that already is a friend with him on Facebook, and see if that friend will contact him to tell him. You know what I mean? That's probably the only best way you could probably get a chance to get a hold of him that way.
Oh, that's true. That's absolutely true.
The
I don't know where Frico is, and he's probably asleep. And now, mind you, and again, I
you wanna
had.
do you,
I'm sorry. What did you say?
I was gonna say, do you want to get back with the Billy Mitchell controller dispute?
Yeah, let's go back to talking about
Yeah.
that. Like,
I was gonna say the type of buttons are like leaf buttons, and the bot has a leaf switches, and those are and the style is a concave. But basically, what happens is it has like a groove under, like a crater, like a moon crater. So it
yes.
has like a crater, so your finger could rest on it. If it was just straight like a sanwa button, those will be the Japanese ones. But they those are the correct buttons, but the concave type. So just to throw that out, those look correct, and it just seems too oddly that the control stick is way too the shaft is way too high, and it looks like it goes inside the grooves. If you see it in the photo, let me see
Yeah,
if I'm
I know what you're
that
talking
right.
about. See,
Yeah, so it's like
when I first posted about this, that particular photo, my first assumption and my first accusation was I think that this photo may be photoshopped or edited in some manner because it just doesn't seem right. Why would Billy, if he was cheating, if I was cheating, if I was to cheat DK, and you can set the small, short black ball default, control stick from a 4-way to an 8-way by using leaf control easily, just by taking it out, which takes only 2 minutes, and adjusting it to the 8-way position, and then putting it back in it and bolting it back on. Literally, as Rudy described it, it would have only taken 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops, and boom, now you have an 8-way that's short. Shorter stick means less frame delay on moving your hand.
yeah,
So
less
you'd
traveling
be
time.
able, yeah, less travel time on your wrists. You're not moving your wrists as much. It's better for your wrists. It's less awkward and more comfortable. It's lower to the
Yeah,
marquee. You have more
yeah,
control.
because look at the shaft. You see how it goes all the way in. There is no dust washer.
Yeah, there's no
You see
washer.
how
I
the
know what you're talking about.
and it goes all the way in. So it's like traveling traveling time will be very stiff. You know what I mean? It'll be like really weird.
Here's another thing I wanted to point out and maybe add to what I wanted to ask David Race.
Jeremiah, stop.
What I
What are
wanted to
you
ask
doing? Go ahead.
what I wanted to ask David Race was basically like if even in the off-hand chance, if the footage of every record that Billy had done, or if any that has existed so far, I don't know about all of them. If we're able to sit down and look at his DK film, why is it that we haven't looked for barrel behavior? What I mean by that is when if it was an 8-way, if it was an 8-way or set to an 8-way position, and we didn't know about it, how have we not just taken to the point where he got to like a ladder and see if he refuses to leave the ladder and manipulate the barrel ever so slightly? That should be something that would be easily noticeable if you're able to manipulate the barrels by using the inner cardinal controls. In
Oh,
case anyone doesn't know what an inner cardinal is, it's basically the corners. So that would make an 8-way. So when you're using uh, those inputs, you're able to control the barrels and possibly move at the same time. I'm not sure about that, so don't quote me. But if you're on the ladder, from what I know, you can still manipulate the barrel and not move, and Mario would never be shown moving, and thus you can move the barrels. So why hasn't barrel behavior been looked for in any of his clips? I mean, I think that's a pretty valid argument. Like, if we think he's cheat, why have we not looked for that? Like, I mean, I feel like that's a good thing to look for. And if I was to cheat Donkey Kong, if I was world renowned and I had thousands of dollars and my entire business and reputation put on the line, and I needed to secure it, and I knew the inner workings of the game, and it was possible to get a leaf control, and go in, set it to an 8-way, and set all that up. Why in the hell would I change the shaft? Why would I use a shaft that tall if it's going to be an inconvenience? That's what I've been trying to wrap my head around all week, and since then, even long before several months back, and
yeah, yeah.
it's
Behave.
just like why would you want to use something that tall to cheat? And I don't see the benefit. I thought about it all week. I don't see possibly why he would, so it leads me to only believe that it's way too suspicious. Could be photo generated for all I know, or AI generated. I don't know. Can't tell because you can't see under the marquee and he's not playing the cabinet. So, I don't know. Everyone's saying that he went to a mortgage broker, which, again, is just the fucking Florida Mortgage Association. I'm not sure if this was a convention. People are saying it is. Probably might be. I don't know. The photo in question just looks like a photo op. I don't know anything else. If he was shown playing the cabinet, I would be having a much different discussion. I'd be having a much different statement. I wouldn't even have made a video. I'd be like, all right, this is a slam dunk. He's shown playing the cabinet. That's not an official stick. Yeah, why is he playing it? And yet, in his statement, he's been told, it's been said that he broke the record at that event, or at the mortgage broker. So, what the hell? I don't know. That's just my take on it. I know. So let me just jump to the end here. Frico is asleep. I mean, sound asleep. The man has driven like 15 hours and ran an entire Gen Con for all week. And he's been up for most of the day, and he's probably not going to get up until, I'm going to assume, midnight. Because he went to sleep. Went to sleep close to around 3, 4 even. He'll probably get up in a few hours knowing him. And he's fuck out cold for all I know. And Data God, I think, got called to work. But he'll be back, apparently, in an hour or so to talk. I don't know. They could do whatever they like.
What's wrong?
What are you going to say?
Yeah.
You good?
I'm here. What's up?
I was going to... Is Kim back?
No, she's not back yet. I'm just trying to keep my son calm. What? She's gonna be back soon.
Oh, alright.
Yeah.
If,
Yeah.
if Frico comes back and Data God comes back, I'm probably gonna restart the stream when they come back, and that's if they do come back.
Well, you could. That'd be cool.
Because
You
I'm
didn't
gonna
end it yet,
I'm
though,
gonna be
did you?
honest. I haven't slept in about 30 hours, and I'm not able to sleep with these antibiotics. They're horrible. Like I can't sleep due to the amount of pain. So I'm forced to stay awake, and I don't think I want to stay awake for another hour. I know it sounds like shit, and I did plan to continue going, but I pretty much said what I had to say. It's just like I'm entitled to an opinion,
Yes,
popular or
you
not.
are. I mean, you're definitely entitled, and I think this is a natural way of talking because it's unfiltered. It's right to what you believe, what it is. You know what I mean? It's and a lot of people that make YouTube videos, they alter the fuck out of their videos. Whenever they make errors, whenever something happens, this was a natural conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to expect people to ship bricks. You know, they see one video that I upload, and it's just like, oh, let me go there and mass this. Like, because someone said this. Because someone said, sheeple, honestly, please get off the platform. If that's what your intention is, and a lot of people that I see in comment sections, they don't have any videos. They sit there, they like a few bands, some YouTube music. They pay for their subscription. They're soy jacks. They don't actually try to do something more. And it's sad, you know.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna wait for Freaker to wake the hell up. I I guess I'm gonna try to sleep on these antibiotics. They're really fucking strong. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still in a shit ton of pain, but it's whatever. Uh, by the way, Rudy, my kidneys are failing. Pretty sure.
Oh what? You kidding?
I might need a kidney transplant.
Oh no, I hope not. We need you alive,
Uh,
brother.
you know what I find funnier than the kidney transplant? I just want to leave this
What?
as my closing thing. In all honesty, I'm just going to say this outright. Um, not the not what I'm about to put up at the end, but
Oh, you gonna do something? We're gonna do something funny and random.
no. I just wanted to quote something. I did a video. My last video that I have uploaded, people have claimed that I have disabled it, which is not true. I actually disabled the stream I did a week ago because someone made a threat. And someone else had also said something really criminal that was fucking beyond balls disgusting about pedophilia. And I didn't quote it at the time. I'm just gonna say this. That I got age restricted video. It was Sanic, and over 100 people messaged or commented on that video, just trash talking about Billy, and it's just Sanic ear raping people. I ear raped over 100 people.
Irate gamer. You get an irate.
No, I just I wasn't even aiming to do that. I was just pointing out a fucking joke. And it wasn't even relevant around the time that this was going on. I just pointed something. I'm like, hey, one of my shitty ass old videos got age restricted. I didn't even care. I laughed it off. I thought it was funny. It's like I might go back to that video, go into editor, and I might slip Rick Roll over it. I'm debating on it. I have been for the betterment of a week because I legit, well, I mean, I got the video back, but I legit just don't give a fuck. I just find it all funny.
You got to do one of your memes.
I mean, I run a fucking guild. I mean, I have that to do today. I didn't run my guild for the betterment of a week, regrettably, which I've been wanting to do, and I didn't get a chance. But I definitely have to get back to doing that this week. I just have not been getting around to it, and between working 80, 90 hours a week, and then this, and then my health, and then my guild, and then my hobbies, just I want to jump off the cliff. I do.
No.
I'm probably the most overworked man in the world, but I know there's people in China that probably work 100 hours a week and think it's normal, or career or whatever. I think people that work as many hours as I do should be required by law to get a vacation. I know it sounds
Well,
weird. I feel like when you work that many hours by law, I feel like a company should be forced to give you a vacation.
come on, Gerald, stop.
I don't know. I have weird takes on things.
No. Just speaking out your mind.
I don't know. Uh, I'm fucking sleepy.
It would have been nice if we had the team going here, but well,
Well,
you're gonna try again.
everyone's tired from running their events and shit. Like, you know, Frico told me if he blacks the fuck out, he's not getting up. He'll probably be up around fucking midnight or whatever. And day to God, I don't know. He had to call someone, so like I said, I don't have nearly the time or the you know I wasn't even trying to get them together at a set time that was appropriate to them. I just said, "Hey, I'm going to do it around this time." I didn't really even bother to ask if they'd be available at
Yeah,
those
yeah.
times. So it was one of those things. I just said, "Hey, come in here on this time." If they couldn't make it, they couldn't make it. I'm not gonna force them to be
Mom,
here.
I'm bringing food.
What would you say?
Oh Lord. No, I tell my son, mom's bringing food. He's edgy.
Oh,
Yeah, he always gets so edgy.
All right, what am I looking at here? I'm looking at kitchen gun. Couldn't care about kitchen gun.
Why don't you make a cooking video?
Why don't I make a cooking video?
Yeah, make a cooking video. Something completely. Make a Final Fantasy cooking video. Maybe something that they could cook. Well, something gets some
I don't
recipe in
know
the
if I want
Final
to make
Fantasy.
a. You know, I actually did think about doing that. That's funny that you brought that up. Completely off topic though from the stream. I always thought about making a separate YouTube channel where I don't show my face or anything like that, and I just make
Uh,
food from Final Fantasy 14, like their actual meals, like the models in
that
the
would be
game, and I try
interesting.
to recreate them just for the
That would
fun
be
of it.
interesting. Yeah, just something of different pace. You never know. That might actually become bigger than what it
I
is.
have other YouTube channels where I don't even physically appear or speak in them that I
Uh-huh.
run that I don't give a crap for, and the ad revenue I get on there, it's pretty decent. I just don't care. It's one of those things. It's one of those weird things that
Oh,
I do that I just don't give two flying shits for half the time. You know. But yeah, I'm gonna end this stream and I'm gonna come back to it later when they're around.
okay, bro. All
Or
right, bro. Just
whenever a
message me.
chance Frico wants to do it or Data God, because get them on call and talking to them about this. On their time, getting the two of them together at a set time it's like trying to piss on the moon. You're not doing it. Well, I mean, you could try. But yeah, I'm gonna hit my end stream button. Stream, I might put it back up later and talk, but for the most part, yeah, I I said what I pretty much had to say. It's not like it's anything out of the ordinary or anything new, but I just found it surprising that hundreds of thousands of people and Karl supported Billy Mitchell.
Oh,
I just
that,
thought it was fucking priceless. I don't know why. I just never have I ever defended this man. Look at him. I'm sorry, but nah.
oh,
it's not that I
yeah,
hate
I mean,
it's not that I hate him. It's just that physically I with Todd Rogers mostly, you know, with the input of your own score and him being pals, it doesn't help. It really doesn't help.
oh,
It just
you
incriminates
mean
it to worse.
so you try to say birds of the feather flock together?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, why else? I mean, look
Oh,
at Isaiah's scores. Isaiah
oh, come on,
Johnson.
man.
No, I'm gonna say factually, Isaiah Johnson cheated Contra 3. He tried to get his record grandfathered in before it was even grandfathered, and Frico told me this in private multiple
Uh,
times, where they met at a New Year's event, and Isaiah Johnson and Lance Eustace and fucking him were sitting down at a cafe or wherever. They were getting lunch. They were eating, whatever. And the
okay.
exact statement, or this was before Frico was even a ref, basically stated, yeah, I got the score, and I'm gonna wait until it's grandfathered in before I reveal the secret. And that was such a weird thing to say. They know how they got it. And then when, years go by later, Isaiah on stream mouths off about the boss and how he got the score. And then word for word, in my own video, I took a video clip of him saying how he did it, and then I proved him wrong, factually, down to the hex decimal of the game, on how the boss works. I corrected him on how the boss works and the point increment system works. I even showed it to Jace Hall. That wasn't enough. But I know he cheated. He
It was
excessively
that I
leached
remember
an
that Johnson.
additional, I'm going to say close to 4 million points. Anywhere from 4 to 2 million extra points
Let,
that he didn't need.
let me throw this out. Let me throw this out big time. Let me throw this out. Being that I used to do world records on Twin Galaxies, Twin Galaxies is notorious And I mean, Jesus Christ, motherfucking notorious for leeching on scores.
Oh, I know. Except this one had excessive leeching for the rules. Excessive. You gotta remember, it's
I'm just
excessive.
saying that I'm just saying because a lot of my records were keeping by fucking leeching. One of my,
Really?
yes, and that's why I was asking for a time bracket for I could get my the fastest. I had officially the world's fastest time on Contra, the arcade Contra, but the problem is they didn't open up a bracket for that, and I got cheapened. I went on Contra and I got a random three something million just to show that he could do it. It's easily could done that, and it got grandfathered. My contract got grandfathered, and then they reopened it and they leaked it. It was grandfathered, and and they just like what did they do? They just reopened the bracket over the Contra game, and they're more leaking on Contra. And I even proved it. I died on purpose because I could have kept going with the score. You see what you see the problem there, Amaris? I
Yeah,
could
no,
have
I
kept
see what you're
going.
talking about.
I
You
died on
stopped you
purpose.
stopped where you could have leached for more points without any forward progression,
Yes.
because that's what leeching is. And that is the problem with Twin Galaxies, and its ultimate main flaw is that in the past, this idea of point pressing was valid for some games
Lord, Jesus.
to an extent that
It's
is not measured.
it's better to beat games. If you want to do it, if you want to show true skill, beat games as fastest and deathless as possible. That's true skill. True skill is fastest and deathless. The score point just I don't know. In certain games, you need to do it that way, but Contra definitely is not one of them that should be done. That's just wrong, man. They did me wrong right there. That's why it discouraged me from doing any more world records on Twin Galaxies for the notorious score leaking. So sick of it. I'm all like, there's no point. After
You're
that, you
right.
know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I mean, I had the number one spot in many of the games, but many of my games were just stolen. They're just leaked. They were leaked by cheaters. Well, I don't know how else to say it. Yeah, you're gonna go ahead and leech the hell out of it till you get number one spot. Well, it's if you leech, I'm gonna leech. You leech, it could go back and forth, back and forth. It is pointless. Like I said, it's pointless to do world records if you're gonna start just leeching all the way through. Find the sweet spots, go through it. It's like I said, Maris. That's how Twin Galaxies got hurt. It's the notorious leech fest, and the if you want to see true gaming skills on arcade games, but it's on this it's called the MARP multiple arcade machine. I think it's no MARP replays, multiple arcade machines replay. So the MARP website, and they'll show you the right there true skill. A lot of their scores, a lot of their plays, they are legit, and they beat the Twin Galaxies. They didn't beat my Contra one though when I did the speed time on that one. They didn't beat that one. I have actually a screenshot over that I beat them on that end, but like I said, Twin Galaxies went down the rock. It's went back then. Now let's see, man. Let's see what happens on the new era, the new Twin Galaxies era. But one more time to state the record, Billy Mitchell and Todd Rogers are not cheaters. There, I said it.
That's your opinion.
No, no, no. It's facts. It's facts. It's facts.
That's your
It's
opinion.
absolute facts. It's
That's your
political
opinion.
facts.
Is your opinion. That's your opinion. That's not my narrative.
Mm.
You know what mine is for that?
What?
I think Todd Rogers cheated and Billy Mitchell's up in the air. I'm gonna wait till Jace puts out more information to the lawsuit, and that doesn't come until October. And I'm not gonna say a word after I'm done, talking with Data God and Freako on stream next, because
Yeah.
they're not here, and it's not really exactly fair because they're tired from work and bullshit. I know that Frico was
Yeah,
at Gen Con for the betterment of the entire week, and I could say that driving all that way sucks, so I'm not gonna give him shit.
Oh,
You
by
can
the way,
sleep in.
did you? My wife just came in right now. Do you want to tell her anything?
No, we can
Feel
talk to her
free.
later. Well, she's got
Okay.
something to add last minute, but I don't think she does. And since she's just walking in the door.
No, no. Just tired. Yeah, she just walked in.
But yeah, I have records on Twin Galaxies. Well, I'm gonna upload the other one, but whatever. I just have one record. You have multiple. Your wife has some. I think Frico has one or two. Could be wrong.
Uh-huh.
And Data God I know has some. And it's just like everyone that I know and their mother has a score. It's kind of funny. On a website that is very, very critical. Very critical. My one run on Twin Galaxies is the only one I have is on Fallout 3. And you remember when I was doing that
Uh,
run, you watched it in real time.
yeah, I remember.
I was
Yeah,
explaining everything I was doing because I did not want to be held in speculation. I gave a narration for the whole run. For the first one and the second one.
yeah.
Because I didn't want something to come up in dispute and be like, hey, what are you doing here? How are you doing that? I'm like, this is how I'm doing it. I'm block hopping here. Oh, I'm skipping a text box here by punching the air. It's nothing, not really cheating, sorry. Not in the rules. I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to do it, and here it is. And it was accepted. I'm like, okay, fine. I will say that the first run I did for that, though, somebody, I think it was Almighty Deadlock, said that I was using save states on console. I'm like, what in the fuck are you on, man? He said I was on fucking using save states on console. I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? It's funny as shit.
An emulator. You're running on actual hardware.
I'll get into it another in the next stream if someone reminds me or I remind
Bunch of
myself.
dumbass motherfuckers.
Oh well, because I was saving and loading. They called it QSQR, which is Quick Save Quick Reload, which is a feature within Bethesda games, but it's only on PC, where you press one button and it quick loads the last save. But that's not on console. But they don't want you loading a new file while on a console run. It's basically like dying and starting over or starting on a new file. They look at it as the same. Even if, and I'm just being theoretical here, if I saved my progress, stopped, loaded up a different file, and then went back to my original file. And the reason that I would do that in a run, and I tried to do this prior, I wanted to activate what is called Speed Cripple in Fallout 3. And the way you can activate Speed Cripple, which is an exploit where the only way to do it is to get crippled and on the same frame reset your game, but you also have to die at the same time. So you have to get crippled by an explosion, die, and save on the same frame and have it set up and load instantly as fast as you can into the game. And if you do it correctly, the game will be tricked, and instead of giving you, crippling, instead of crippling you on speed and putting your speed as a negative speed of, I think it's 1.6, you gain that 0.6. So you actually become faster, and you get the cripple walking animation at high speed, and you could just do speed cripple. And that stays on until you get crippled again. But there's only two ways to activate it, and it's to have a save file set up beforehand, or set it up by jumping off a tall platform that you could take fall damage, and quick save, quick reset on the fall. And doing that in a run is, I mean, honestly, if I had to spend 8 minutes per attempt doing that, I'd fucking rip my eyeballs out because that's just inefficient. I set up a file right at the start of the game to do it instead, and that just wasn't allowed it because it wasn't in the rules. And Twin Galaxies has their own global rule set, so even if you wanted to run a score, if you cheat, in any manner or use any kind of exploit that, even if it isn't listed in the global rule set for the track, you're not allowed to do it. It's not acceptable. Any kind of glitches of any sort is frowned upon immediately and is grounds for just complete dismissal. And I think that's stupid. I feel like there should be glitch categories. Like, what if I run Pokemon and I have to catch a missing now? It's like, oh, glitches are not allowed it, but then it's like, oh, I have to catch every Pokemon in Gen 1. Missing is one of them, technically. And as well as all the other glitch Pokemon in that game, which some of them are capable of completely deleting the save file. Some of them have moves that wipe the game data in the fucking SRAM, so that's fun, right? See, I know all this technical information in the end. I don't give a shit. It's the funny thing about me. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna wait until they get back up, like I said, and I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna go and sit in a bunch of memes, take a nap, and hopefully they'll be up in 3 hours. I don't know. I'll probably give Frico a call after. I don't know.
Okay, brother. Thank you for having me on the stream.
Oh yeah, I mean, thank you and Kim for being here, and I mean, realistically, I would have liked for the two of them to have been here as well. I don't know. I'm just tired. I've had a very tiresome week, and yeah, I'll be back later. If not later, I'll do it tomorrow. I don't care.